Hey guys, Pillar Pilot here. Welcome to our approach series, and today we'll be looking at the Kai-Tak heart attack. In the background here we can see a 747 landing during a heavy crosswind at Kai-Tak. Hopefully we don't have this much trouble, but seems pretty difficult today. Here we can see the late turn on final that's being demonstrated, and this is why Kai-Tak has earned its name, Kai-Tak heart attack, and why it's so famous and dangerous. Today we'll be trying out landing in the sim, and we'll show you some shots from the sim. We'll be looking at the scenery you can get for it, but mostly the famous Kai-Tak run. Here we can see him touching down, and of course it's gone very low over the city. And today it was a very strong crosswind, however it's not going to be for us, hopefully. There we go, so let's go on to the next one. So, here we see a Korean Air 747 cargo plane in the middle of the famous bank that you have to make coming into Kai-Tak. As you come in, you come across the bay, and yet the runway is at 90 degrees to you, so you have to make a famous steep bank of 40 degrees or so, depending on how late the pilot timed it, to make sure you line up with the runway, and you have about 5 seconds once you've made the butt roll to face the runway. So if we go have a look at some of the landings now. So guys, here we go. We're currently in the Boeing 747-8, which is in the BA livery, and this was one of BA's major routes into Hong Kong Kai-Tak. So we're currently making the turn over to 45 degrees, and round the island. This is the large island which the new airport, so it was built to replace Kai-Tak, has been made. So coming around here, we can see we're turning off to 45 degrees, and we want to aim to be going over the northern runway of the airport. So we want to aim to, as I say, to go over this northern airport, and we want to be there at about 3,000 feet, so we're a little bit high. So I'm just going to increase our descent rate here to make sure we stay at 3,000 feet. However, the ILS can be captured higher than that, and it's not necessary to be too low. So looking at the ILS here, and making sure we're not already past the capture point, and in fact we're still below the ILS, so it's still time. I'm going to click lock mode here. Right there. The aircraft will now turn and try and capture the ILS, so that by the time it captures, we should be pointing nicely towards the runway. Sorry, not towards the runway, captured on the ILS. Kai-Tak does have an ILS, however it leads us straight towards the famous checkerboard hill, which I'll point out when we get later. Because of this, we have to make a manual turn to face the runway at around 100 feet over the city, making it the famous Kai-Tak heart attack. We have to fully manual turn, which means it's an eyeball, and judging the point at where you turn is the key. If you turn at checkerboard hill, you turn slightly too late. If you turn on the lights, you turn slightly too early, and therefore you don't actually make the runway heading, and it's probably a go around. So continuing to descend here, we're descending actually below the glide slope, which is good. So I'm just going to reduce our descent rate slightly before I hit approach mode, which will descend us with the correct altitude glide path to take us nicely over the harbour and over the city. What we do though is take manual control just as we come over the city, because the approach mode, if you follow it, and the descent and the ILS, takes you straight into Checkerboard Hill, as I said, because the ILS cannot make this turn for you at the end. So we can see the glide slope coming in above us here. We're going to hit approach mode now, like that. And now all the plane's going to do is slow our descent rate a bit, so that we pick up the ILS glide slope. So coming in, we're going to pass over the harbour soon, and over the city, and we're looking for these lights here. These are sort of run lights that we can see, which guide us into the airport. Concorde landed here once as part of British Airways World Tour. Hopefully when that gets added to the sim, we might fly down here. So we're looking for Checkerboard Hill again. This should be directly ahead of us or so, and we're just looking for that as a visual marker to check we're still on the right path. Slowing the speed down now, we want to come over the harbour at about 180 knots. So if we slow down to 180 knots here, deploy a bit of spoiler and add some flaps. So we'll go flaps 2. We were on flaps 1 there. And now if we're on approach mode, the aircraft should pick up the glide slope any second now. So reduce the spoilers and we'll go flaps 3. Ooh, really pitching it down there. 747's autopilot doesn't exactly like us then. Yeah, look, that's missed that quite a lot there. Anyway, speed's at 180 knots now. Holding steady. I've got flaps 3 and the gear are down. Here. It should be. There we go, the gear are going down now. And we'll go flaps full back now, which will bring the overspeed marker right down to about 180 knots. Thing here, we can see the lights coming in more clearly now. And we're coming right in over the harbour. And if you have the carriers installed, you can see we've actually got a carrier here, which we can try some landing challenges on that at some point. So, through 2,000 feet now, continuing down on the glide slope. We'll take manual control any second so that we can fly in because the ILS is not going to take us around this corner. As I said earlier, judging the time is very right. If you judge it too late, then you can't actually make the airport and you go over this city right here. And if you go too early, you clip these buildings on the sides. You have to be exactly right to be able to do it. So we take manual control now. There we go. If we acknowledge that siren. There we go. So now we're just going to keep holding it with pretty much what it was doing. But we're also going to take manual throttle. So moving my TCA throttles back and disarming using the button. There we go. Throttle's disarmed. So now we have manual throttle and manual control. So we'll continue to descend with the glide slope here. Right on over the city, about 1,000 feet or so. This is nice. We're going to arm the spoilers using the button that we have. And we're still looking for Checkerboard Hill off our left here. You might be able to see it there. And the lights around here. You want to aim to be in between the lights and Checkerboard Hill, as this is the best sort of position to be, as the lights take you in too early and the Checkerboard Hill takes you in too late. So you want to sit just in between them. Holding the speed about 170 knots here, which is our touchdown speed for today is about 160, 165 or so. So we want to hold just above that. And I'm descending still with the glide slope just about, but we're going to lose it as we go around the corner now. So waiting to turn. Terrain display disappears because we're so low. We'll start our turn now. Really steep turn. Well over 30 degrees. Keep it turning. There's the runway. Keep the turn around the city. Let the turn drop. Oh, bit of slip to the left there. Lost the runway heading slightly. Come back, there we go. And I will keep the thrust up here if we're losing a bit of speed. A bit high, so we'll kill the thrust. Should be down there. So we've got reverse thrust engaged. So I hope you guys enjoyed that there. We're just rolling off the runway at Kaitak. That was the first video and part of our mini-series now that we're doing. Next approach, we'll try and go into Lukla and look at some of the crazy landings that have been made there in the past. And of course, the famous fact that you can't go around. So join me next time for our next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please leave a like and subscribe and drop a comment below.